What is going on, ladies and gents? Michael or Legacy Kill HD back today with a new video for you. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be discussing Bethesda's future release dates for Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and pretty much their miscellaneous projects that they have in the making. We're going to be breaking down all the evidence and leaks so far for these titles, and I'm going to be pretty much speculating on when we could be getting a release date. So make sure you guys get interactive in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are, and make sure to tell me when do you guys think we're going to be getting some of these titles. But if you guys haven't already, make sure you follow me on Twitter and subscribe to my second channel. I'm going to try to upload more on my second channel, try to put out some more personal videos and some other type of content, so make sure you guys subscribe there. But let's start with some of the past games that Bethesda's made in the Fallout and Elder Scrolls universe. And this goes back to 2010, and that is Fallout New Vegas. And in 2011 we got, obviously by Bethesda Game Studios this time around, we got Skyrim, and then in 2014 Elder Scrolls Online coming from ZeniMax, and then in 2015 got Fallout 4 and Fallout Shelter. Obviously Fallout Shelter, that app that's going to be coming to PC soon, pretty fun game. And then this year, the only Elder Scrolls or Fallout type of deal we're going to be getting, except for DLC obviously for Fallout, we have Elder Scrolls Legends, that card game. And I guess you can also throw in Skyrim Remastered coming from Bethesda Game Studios. Now we break down the future, and that's why in 2017 I believe we're going to be getting Fallout LA, or pretty much a Fallout by Obsidian Entertainment. And I know a lot of people are like, how is that even possible? It's been too short. Well, you guys also got to remember that Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, the time span between those two games were less than 2 years. But Fallout New Vegas came in October 19th, 2010, and also Fallout 3 came out October 28th, 2008, so less than 2 years between that, maybe only by a couple days. But the crazy idea of having a game in the Fallout genre coming so soon really isn't that crazy of an idea. I know a lot of people are like, how is that even possible? I'm sure that they're a lot younger and don't understand that they've already done this in the past with Fallout 3 to Fallout New Vegas. And also there's been some comments in the past in 2013 that really caught my eye, and actually made that in my last video talking about the future of Fallout. The CEO of Obsidian Entertainment actually made some comments. He said that if they were to make a new Fallout, it would probably be on the West Coast. It only makes sense because they're West Coast type of guys, and Todd Howard actually pretty much reiterated what he said, and it only makes sense for Obsidian to make another Fallout game. And they said nothing was set in stone, but they were definitely working on the idea. But that was all the way back in 2013. There was also some leaks about Fallout New Orleans, but they were struck down by Obsidian Entertainment. And a Fallout LA would probably equal a Fallout The Boneyard, just being that if you aren't familiar, The Boneyard is actually what LA is called, mainly because of the fact that there's a lot of skeletons from a lot of death because of the Great War. And also the Boneyard actually appeared in the setting for Fallout 1, so this wouldn't be the first time, but that was also in the late 2100s, at least that was the game setting. And now as we move forward in the Fallout universe, it seems like we're in the late 2200s, and last time we heard was in New Vegas that the Boneyard was becoming more reestablished. There was a lot of buildings being rebuilt, becoming more populated since the NCR took control. Now moving forward in 2018, we probably will be getting a first look at Bethesda's new IP, Starfield. That was actually recently leaked in some trademarks. It's very interesting just because they haven't talked about this at all. There's just been a lot of extensions for this, which is why a lot of people assume that this will be their new project. And as you guys know, ZeniMax actually registered this trademark, and they're the parent company of Bethesda. Some people have made the debate, could this be another project for one of their other studios? But all the other studios are busy on other projects. The only other studio is Tango Gameworks, and I just don't see Tango actually making a Starfield game. And that leaves Bethesda Game Studios, who have said they have 3 projects. We only know of one of them, which is Elder Scrolls 6, but that's way down the line. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. The trademark actually identifies Starfield as providing an online interactive computer and video games. Big shout out for Mr. Matty Plays for finding that information under the trademark. Just something very interesting to note, just because of the fact we haven't seen a multiplayer from Bethesda Game Studios. We did see something from Bethesda Softworks when they did develop games in the 90s. I believe it was the Elder Scrolls Legends Battlespire. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it definitely is very intriguing, just the idea of a multiplayer making past pre-production from Bethesda Game Studios. If you're not aware what I'm talking about, they have said in their recent titles, all the way going back to Oblivion, they have worked on a multiplayer for each game. It just never made it past pre-production, which is very unfortunate, but they also made a good reason for that, just being that they were trying to give the most to the single player, which obviously I don't think anybody would have wanted to see a multiplayer if it had taken away from that. Now, moving a little bit forward, in 2020, I believe we're going to be seeing an Elder Scrolls spinoff. It could possibly be in the Akavir continent. I know a lot of people have said that it doesn't doesn't make sense for them to do all of Akavir, which I could see them just doing one certain region, which would really be something different and a lot of people wouldn't expect. If you're not aware, all the Elder Scrolls games have been so far in Tamriel. We know of certain regions outside of Tamriel, but we haven't visited. There's a lot of history involving Akavir, and it's a very intriguing continent we don't know much about. We've heard of little interesting facts about some of the actual factions or some of the races over there. We know the monkey people of Tangmo, we know the snow demons of Kamal, we know the serpent men of Saisi, and we also know of the tiger dragons of Cape Otun. And Akavir is full of a lot of history that has impacted Tamriel, so it finally makes sense to visit this continent and see what's actually going on between each faction, just because there's been a lot of battles and a lot of chaos over there, and that could impact the events of the next Elder Scrolls games. That moves us to our next title, probably coming in 2022, and that is the Elder Scrolls VI. Finally, we have gotten here. Todd Howard and Pete Hines have both stated this title is years and years out, and they've also said that Bethesda Game Studios is not currently in development of Elder Scrolls VI. They're working on their other two projects right now at the moment. And Pete Hines actually did joke about this a few months ago, stating that we would probably not be seeing this until 2022. He jokes with Todd Howard about that, as he's been making comments in the last couple weeks stating that there's no chance we're going to be getting Elder Scrolls VI anytime soon. Kind of seems like more of a reality now. But I definitely do think that the release date will depend on how big Bethesda Game Studios does get. As they continue to hire employees and open in more studios, such as their Montreal studio they just recently opened, I think that will really impact when we could be getting the Elder Scrolls VI. Pretty much Bethesda Game Studios continues to make more money from their titles, and they continue to get bigger. We could be seeing the Elder Scrolls VI maybe a little bit sooner than what's expected. Either way, guys, make sure you dive into the comment section below. When do you guys think we could be seeing the Elder Scrolls VI? You got to also take into consideration they have two major projects coming beforehand, and this isn't a Call of Duty team. These guys take a long time in their games. They make sure that they're actually up to quality. Now, I could speculate into the future of some other Bethesda Game Studios titles, maybe even a Fallout 5, but I just don't even think we're going to be getting that in the next decade. It seems like that's years and years away, unfortunately. So as we continue to enjoy Fallout 4, savor the moments right now, guys, because I think we're on a long wait for a next Fallout installment from Bethesda Game Studios, unless possibly they just nix the Elder Scrolls spinoff and make their own type of game. But I feel like they're going to leave that to Obsidian Entertainment as they work on some of their other newer projects. You also got to take into consideration that, as I said, the Montreal studio is working on some mobile games, so I'm sure we're going to be getting something in between, maybe in the Fallout Elder Scrolls genre, or even a Starfield game, as it has been stated that Starfield was labeled under a mobile game, so that could be something also coming with the game. It could be like a Fallout 4, Fallout Shelter type of deal, could come with the game, or something on Android or iOS. But make sure you guys like the video if you did enjoy, and also subscribe for much more Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Starfield content to come. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.